Hey guys, I've just played a crazy game against my subscriber, a FIDE master, with lots of mutual mistakes, craziness on the board, beautiful combinations. Let's take a look at this. You will enjoy it. So I prepared, and I knew that my opponent plays the Caro-Kann defense, and I prepared this variation against him, the advanced variation. But he, in turn, since he's my subscriber, he knows that usually in the past I've played a different setup against this. I have a video on this channel on this setup, the Magnus Caro-Kann, where you go into an endgame. Black is not obliged to do this, but if Black does this, this seems not very threatening, but it is in fact very, very dangerous for Black if White knows what they are doing. So my opponent prepared, I prepared, and once I went e5, he realized that I've prepared for him, and usually he goes bishop f5, so he decided to get me out of my prep and went c5. So this is like the meta game in professional chess where people try to surprise each other. I knew what to do against c5, but obviously I was not as deeply prepared. So I took knight c6, he went. Another move in this position is e6, they are both normal. And after knight c6, I go knight f3, protecting the pawn because it was attacked. Now he goes bishop g4, pinning my knight. This is all theory. And I go c3. This was all in my file. So this is a trap. You might say, well, but the knight is pinned. You can take the pawn. What happens? Well, it's a trap. I take the knight, I sacrifice the queen, but then I have this check. And Black loses the queen with check, and then Black loses everything and the game. So, of course, my opponent does not fall for this. He does not take this pawn. Instead, he goes e6. Now he wants to take this pawn. I go bishop e3. I don't give him this pleasure. I'm still up a pawn. In some variations of this line, Black manages to recapture the pawn, but Black needs to give up something. For example, give up the bishop pair. Like this, it is possible. But then I have a check. It's all theory. And this I remembered that it's good for White. White castles short, and then it finishes development, opens up the position, and White is better. So instead of giving up the bishop pair, my opponent proceeded to develop knight g7. This move I did not see, but turns out it's actually the best move according to the engine. So yeah, but it's very logical. So I was out of my files here. So probably it is in my files, but I didn't check too extensively this line. So I went bishop b5, logical move, pinning the knight. He strengthened the defense of the knight, but also hinted at attacking twice this e5 pawn. And I just go knight bd2. By this point, like all the moves that I'm making are top engine choices, so I'm glad I managed to find them, but they were not that difficult. Now he goes knight f5, also logical, also one of the top engine recommendations. He wants to take my bishop, and if, for example, if I just castle, he'll take my bishop, and look at those pawns, they're just horrible. Two doubled pawns. Some of them are also isolated, and Black is much better. Horrible pawn structure. So of course I do not want to allow this. I go bishop d4. Yes, this bishop might look a little bit ugly because it's like a big pawn, but it's serving an important purpose, and it's one of the engine recommendations in this position. So he develops, I castle, he castles, and here I initially considered h3, but I decided against it due to the following line. Knight takes here, pawn takes here, and his bishop is hanging, but I thought he has knight d4 because, oops, what did I do? So he has knight d4 because this knight is pinned, and if I take the bishop, he takes mine, and he seemingly won a pawn, but I did not calculate till the end, unfortunately. This variation continues. Takes, takes, and then a4, and the knight is trapped. I didn't realize this. I didn't see the opportunity that I had. Otherwise, I would have gone for this variation for h3. h3 is very logical. He would have to probably take here and help me better my structure, and then go here, or get rid of the bishop, which is a win for me. So that would be a good move. But still, I have not spoiled anything. I went queen a4 with the idea to strengthen d4, and now I want to go h3. Now h3 is on the cards, but he takes still. I take back, and he goes a6. And here I entered into a deep thing. I didn't really like my position if I take. even though the engine says it's an excellent choice. Because I thought that if he takes with a pawn or with a queen, doesn't matter really, he will have this powerful dark squared bishop. And yes, I have an extra pawn, an extra b pawn. But how am I going to proceed? He will open up the position with f6, maybe start an attack on my king, and my rook even cannot go to b1 because the bishop will kick it. And two bishops are much stronger than two knights in most positions. Yes, this dark squared bishop for the time being is restricted by my pawns, but maybe it will rotate somehow. Maybe after f6 he will break my pawn chain. So I thought for some time I didn't like this position, and I retreated to d3, which is actually the top engine choice, but I spent too much time on this. So I also didn't like the fact that like my pawns are a little bit overextended, and I thought that he should go f6 here, which is the top engine move. And I really didn't like the fact that if I, for example, take, he takes with a bishop, now my d4 pawn is a constant weakness, and he has huge compensation for the pawn. The engine says it's close to equal already, even though I'm up a pawn. So that says something. And the only move for that holds a little bit of advantage for me is h3. That retains a little bit of advantage, but still not much. So I didn't like my position. I thought I would be black rather here, playing with initiative for a pawn. But my opponent went f5, and I was like, this should be a mistake. Well, it's not a mistake, but the engine says it's not the best move. The f6 is better. Because I thought that my pawn chain is so strong that he has to challenge me. I don't know why he did it. But he had an idea to play g5 and attack me on the king side, also a sensible plan, so it's not a stupid move, just that it's not the most accurate one. And I went b4 gladly after seeing that he has committed an inaccuracy. And then I realized how stupid I am, because b4 is a bad move. Now black is already better because I no longer defend this pawn, and he played g5 immediately. And I realized that I'm in trouble. For example, if I do whatever I do, I don't know, like, for example, if I do queen b3, intending a4, b5, which was my plan initially, he just takes and goes g4, and my knight is attacked, but the knight is the only piece that's defending d4 pawn, and once d4 pawn falls, e5 will fall, and everything will fall, and I will collapse. So this is very unpleasant, and I was cursing at myself mentally here for rushing with b4, because g5 is such an obvious response. And reluctantly I played knight b3 here to add another defender to this pawn, but this is an ugly move on many levels. First of all, my queen is now out of the game, and it will take 1, 2, like 3 tempi to get to the action for the queen. It's very ugly, and even more because this pawn also needs to be defended first for the queen to leave this flank. So this diagonal shouldn't have been blocked by my knight. The knight is not good here. Also, I allow this, takes, and the file opens. And I thought that after, for example, g4, black is pressing, I would have gone f4. But still, I really like the position of black here more. King h8, rook here, maybe pushing these pawns, attacking, not too good. The engine says it's equal, but black is the one pressing. The engine would defend this easily, like for breakfast, but I'm not an engine. So I was worried about this, but my opponent decided not to rush with taking and went king h8. And then I thought, well, if he allows me to retreat with the knight, I will retreat with the knight, which is good. Apparently the engine says knight e1 would be even better. I considered this move as well, but I thought that knight on d2 like looks better to me subjectively. So he went bishop h5. Now he has this idea, and he will harass my queen, and my queen is very awkward. For example, if I go a3, which is not a good move, he will be able to go here, for example, and the engine also finds some defense, but I didn't like it at all. So and I thought that I need to evacuate my queen somehow. So I came up with a plan, which is not approved by an engine, but which I like. I wanted to put my knight back here, this knight back here, and then free my queen. But first, I did not want to go here because he can take, so I sacrificed a pawn, f4, which is a creative solution. And a mistake according to the engine, but I think practically speaking it's a good solution. So he takes, then I retreat with the knight. Now if he takes, he will not spoil my structure. I have the rook here. Also his pawns are weak. Also he has no longer a pawn storm here, so I was happy. And then I want to go here and free my queen for further further advancement on the queen side. So he goes rook g8 because the file has been opened up, semi-opened, which is logical. I go knight d2, following with my plan. He goes queen d7. This is a step a little bit in the wrong direction. The engine gives a5, and actually I was thinking about this move. I didn't think of this. If b5 he can take, sacrifice the knight. The engine is very, very innovative. And when I sidestep the pin, queen takes e5, and he has 3 pawns for the sacrificed piece, but these pawns are very menacing in the center. So this would be a nice idea. I thought of a5, but in a different context. I thought that he can jump to b4, for example, but it's not good. Knight b4, I'll just retreat, and the knight is stuck there. So yeah, if you don't see this piece sacrifice, then a5 doesn't make that much sense. He went queen d7, trying to probably rotate the queen like this. Also, he has a threat of knight takes e5. When my queen if takes, then he takes back with the knight winning a pawn. So I sidestep with my queen. Now my plan is still advancing the pawns on the side, on the flank where I'm stronger, which is the queen side. I have an extra pawn there, and the c5 pawn is very, very menacing. And if I get like several moves in a row, several tempi, I will demolish him on the queen side. He knows it. He tries to demolish me where he's stronger, on the king side. He goes rook g7. He clearly wants to double up on this file and create a vicious attack on my king, and maybe actually the queen joins in. So yeah, I go a4. I continue with my plan. He doubles up. Now my g2 pawn is attacked, so I defend it. Now the rook and the king are defending it. The position is equal. It's very complicated, messy, but it's around equal. Queen d8 is also like a tiny mistake according to the engine. It's too slow, but there's no concrete proof why it's a mistake, so I would not even call it a mistake. Maybe an inaccuracy. And here is the moment I rush it. I realize that my time is like ticking, and I have 17 moves to make until time control move 40 when I get extra half an hour. And I have 17 minutes, and I rushed it, and immediately I realized my mistake. I went b5, and I was like, oops. So once I did this move, I realized my opponent did not see it, thankfully. So again, this is a very thematic piece sacrifice here, but it's not really a sacrifice. He can take the knight first, which is important, because if you do it in a different move order, it doesn't work. He has to take the knight, I have to take back, and now he can sacrifice the knight. And once I take, he takes bishop c5. This I saw. I told my opponent after the game. I asked him, did he see it? And he said no. And after queen c3, just queen b6. And this pin is deadly. He will win everything. This is like -4 already, so lost, completely busted. And I was so unhappy about it. I thought he's a FIDE master. He'll probably see it, so he'll take. He's just thinking. The important thing is not to take here, because then this doesn't work, because I have this and this, and my other knight overprotects, and I win. So in this redaction, as they say, it's not working. But you should first trade the knight for the bishop, and then it works. But he didn't see it. He went bishop h4. And I was like, whew, I'm so glad. And I was like, what is he doing, actually? He's attacking my rook. I thought that if I go rook e2, I don't like knight d4. Obviously, now it's not even a sacrifice. He wins a bunch of material. But I thought I can just take him and take on c6. And I didn't have much time, and I didn't realize his idea at first glance. And I was like, okay, I don't have much time. I don't have much to do. I thought maybe this works, what he did, but I'm not sure what exactly works here. Probably he just has an attack, and he decided, okay, my c6 knight is not that important. I will join the action with the queen and have some attack. Okay, let him prove it. I thought at the very least I have this to sacrifice the exchange, and actually the engine says this is the best I could have done, and this is -1, so I'm down in exchange, but I still have this pawn phalanx marching, and he doesn't have anything concrete. This is what I should have done, and I should have spent more time here. But I was so like, mistakes go in pairs in chess. Usually, if you make a mistake or a blunder, you should really try to compose yourself, exert lots of effort to do this, because usually once you make one mistake, other mistakes follow because you're imbalanced, your state of mind is not correct, and you make irrational decisions. Here, it was a completely stupid, irrational decision for me not to spend like 5 minutes calculating why did he sacrifice the piece. If your opponent is not like a noob, if he's a pro, if he's an FM, he played at the Olympiad for his team, Bangladesh, very nice guy. I spoke to him after the game. So he's a pro, and obviously he doesn't just hand pieces. So I should have respected his idea more. Why is he sacrificing? What is he I didn't see, first of all, I decided, okay, maybe just for an attack. No, you should look for something concrete. You have 15 minutes. It's enough like to spend 5 minutes in a critical position. I didn't spend those minutes. I spent just 2 minutes and I took, and now I'm lost. You see why? A very beautiful combination. Actually, I realized it one move too late. So he took on d4, attacking my queen, and initially I wanted to go here, and if he takes, take here. That's what I wanted initially. But when he took on d4, I stopped to think, and I realized that he's a freaking genius. he found a brilliant combination, and unfortunately I cannot do what I intended to do. I cannot go here and take the knight. Can you see it? You can pause the video if you like. This is beautiful. A beautiful combination. Rook takes g2 check. I have to take back, otherwise I get checkmated. Then rook takes g2 check. I have to take back. And then f3. It's a check, and it's a discovered attack on my queen. And I lose the queen, because if I take with a knight, protecting the queen, he first takes here, and then he takes here. And I realized that, and I'm lost. I'm down material, and I'll even lose some more material. It's -6. And I realized that I saw this variation one move too late, after he went knight d4, and I already cannot do anything. So I still went queen c3. He took my knight, but I did not take his knight. Here I realized that I'm lost, but at least I shouldn't lose the queen immediately. So I went bishop f1, trying to overprotect g2, but unfortunately he has a crushing attack with f3, and I cannot do anything. After g3, he sacrificed the rook. Very beautiful stuff. I saw that he can do it, but I had no choice. So he took back, and I blocked. And he took with a pawn, and now my queen is hanging, and mate in 1 is hanging. And I have nothing. I have nothing, and I resigned the game. Beautiful game. Kudos to my opponent. Great game. We both made mistakes, but as someone famous said, the one to win a chess game is the one who makes the penultimate mistake, the next to last mistake, and that was my opponent. So see you in the next one. Don't forget to leave a comment. I'm really happy when I see you guys commenting my videos, because I have some like maybe 500, 1000 views for these, but like 1 or 2 comments. It's like, guys, please let me know that you exist, people who enjoy this content. And see you next one.